I know that in history, or specifically in Israel history, sacrifice was exchanged, or and prayer actually took the place of it, at least when we speak about exile. But we need to re-examine it, and what is actually a true sacrifice today, what it really means, what it means to give part of yourself, and to put part of yourself on the altar and allow it to transmute itself. Not to sublimate itself, but to transmute itself. And I think this part is really missing. It has to do with the level of dedication. First, I would like to start with that what we speak about trust and belief is part of our work to achieve it. It's not a given sort of a given status or a given stage that we have. We all the time realize that we don't trust, and we have a huge gap in belief that we need to sort of grow in ourselves. It's our attempt, it's our effort to actually get to the vessel that has that definition. So it's not given. Okay, trust and belief.
Right.
Trust and belief you need to earn.
So
yeah, in all sense of earning it. Okay, you're being cut. Okay, so coming back to what I spoke about sacrifice, because we are sort of concluding now the book of priesthood, and Torah speaks a lot about sacrifice. In Hebrew, sacrifice is to do with proximity, of coming near. Korban is to come near. When the temple existed, there were prayer there. There were prayer by all Leviim, yeah. It was blessings and prayer, but there was this part of sacrifice. And because we are now in the cycle of counting the Omer, it speaks about a new offering. I mean, it's not a cycle only of every year. It's a cycle, as this portion of Torah speaks of Shemitah and Yovel, 6 and 7 years. It speaks about where the only place that this can actually take place is in Israel, in the land of Israel. It's only when you will come to that place or to that state, you will be able to actually, so it speaks about salvation of space and time, and it speaks about the release or the liberty of spirit and their ability to achieve or to return to the root. So all this can happen in an environment or in a very specific ecology, which is called Eretz Israel. Okay, only there you can actually do it, and part of it speak about this sacrifice. So it's we need to revisit the notion of how to approach, how to get near. Prayer is one possibility that kept itself in exile and in redemption coming back, but there is part in sacrifice that is still to be clear what it means in our time.
Okay? Yeah.
This is what I.
That's the question, I guess. What does that? How, if that is what is being asked for in some way, or that is part of the redemption, or what do we do? How do we?
Well, there are many levels of sacrifice. Sacrifice of time, sacrifice of space, sacrifice of how do you write the essential need and our essential needs of survival to what they are dedicated. They're all sacrifice.
Sacrifice in terms of being drawn nearer to? Is that?
In terms of that you dedicate all those parts to allow spiritual work to happen. That it transmutes itself into a new world and light and a new level of the soul of spirit, yeah, or a new notion of sanctifying our existence with life. So all this is part of sacrifice. How to sacrifice, what actually there is. Now, it's so tied in our language, in our psychology to victim.
Yeah.
We victimize one of the most powerful acts of prayer or of recognition. Because when you speak of sacrificing or sacrifice today, what covers it is to victimize or to give up something.
Yeah, you have to lose something.
So the first formation is the separation of sacrifice from victim, from the notion of being a victim. Most of our psychology and the way we approach it through all levels, through Western and Buddhist psychology, it speaks about trauma and being victimized.
Yeah.
And that is not the way of Kabbala. You cannot speak. It's not the language of it.
And when it is sacrifice, as you're saying, dedicate all those parts, is it more like an offering and a dedication as opposed to the...
It's not only an offering and a dedication. It's a privilege to be able. It's a huge privilege. Look, there is a tendency in humanity to hold or to sense the preciousness of dedication and sacrifice. You find many people that they are willing to sacrifice so much for so little.
Yeah.
But when you speak about sacrifice to Creator in the way, not in the way I think it should be sacrificed, This is why it's forbidden, and not forbidden means it's not possible to sacrifice today, because as humanity as a whole, we misused it, and we continue to misuse it, because I can see it doesn't matter for country, for ambition, for career, for money, for many values that we can grade them. Even people will sit for 1 month in meditation, 1 year in silence, but they will not even dare to open their book. Okay, so it baffles me. Okay, still, but it's part of it's part of the journey I had to go myself in order to be baffled about it and to find a way. I don't know if to answer it, but to find the right railway road out of it and back into the possibility of it, of the meaning of actually start with dedication, adhesion into a true sacrifice, which is the highest privilege. Okay, we're saying in the prayer of counting the Omer that if the Creator will have mercy on us, and we call him the mercy, he will bring back the work of the temple into its place. It means that we will be able to get back the privilege of sacrifice in the language of last generation, which has most probably nothing to do with the way we read it, sacrificed today.
Yeah.
So, yes.